It is the Dallas Cowboys season preview. I've been jazzed about this. I don't need to know much information or how to do so much research because I talk about this team every single day of my life. You can also check out all of my Cowboys takes over on the Blogging the Boys podcast network. Me and my paisan, Tony Catalina, and of course, Aiden Davis do a great job covering the team. We are the greatest podcast on that network. Don't let anybody tell you different. But there is a lot of stuff going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Today, obviously, we woke up to the news. Yesterday, I saw the video of Tyron Smith going down, and what you saw was in hyperextension. Very quick. And I was telling you the other day, remember I told you, I was walking like a normal human being, and my ankle gave out. Like that happens, right? Hyperextensions happen, especially if you're playing on this turf bullshit. That happens, right? So I saw the hyperextension. I said, look, the best it could be is probably like a sprain or a bruise or something shitty to that realm. Turns out today he ripped his goddamn hammy off his bone, and now we're all screwed. No, listen. I'm here to try to talk all Cowboys fans off a ledge when I get to that depth chart or that point of it, because I do want to talk about the key losses, which just so happens to be some offensive linemen. They let Lyle Collins walk out the door for a bag of balls, literally nothing, as he goes to signs with Cincinnati. They lost Tyron Smith for the year. That's a loss because that is. I'm just going to call it how it is. Keanu O'Neal, they had a project for him. He failed. Got an F on that project, and they tried to make him a linebacker. It just didn't work. He's a safety. He went and signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to be a safety again. That project was never going to get off the ground. Greg Zuerlein was the worst kicker in football last year. We cut him. But thank God we brought back Brett Maher, who can kick a 65-yard field goal, but can't make an extra point. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Zuerlein just won the Jets job, by the way.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. Good luck, Jets. Oh, man, that's going to hurt my 5-0 prediction because you're going to miss a bunch of field goals. Cedric Wilson was a big loss, but considering the fact that we traded Amari Cooper, that's also a loss. Two key components to our offense last year. But was Amari Cooper, look, you can't downgrade or undersell the fact that Cooper had production, one of the better route runners in football. But I'm not going completely nuts over it yet because there was a lot of times where Amari Cooper just didn't show up in the big spot, and you want dogs out there. And there was a couple times where I feel like he was a puppy, and he just didn't show up. So it's like, all right,
Come here, little kitty cat.
Meow, meow, right. So I don't know about all that. They lose Brett Urban, was one of my favorite players on the team. He goes over to Baltimore. Connor Williams also signs with the Dolphins. DeMonte Casey never turned out. Blake Jarwin was hurt and technically released. He's not with the team anymore, so that sucks. Their gains, they were super duper active in free agency this year, as they are every year. And when I say that with the most sarcasm that I could possibly pull in. James Washington was brought in from Pittsburgh. He's hurt, hasn't seen the field. Deontay Fowler, that could be a cool thing because he could be reunited with Dan Quinn. We'll see what he gets into that rotation behind a couple of these guys. And then recently, about 2 weeks ago or however long it was, the Cowboys finally addressed linebacker Anthony Barr. You don't like Anthony Barr? I
washed.
do. Yeah, I don't know about Wash, but he's definitely okay. They did re-sign their own guys, so that's one of those things. And I know everybody, if you're watching this on Cowboy, my Cowboys Nation people out there, they're probably like, Christ, are you about to back up the Joneses? No, I'm not. But they've drafted well enough to bring back some of the guys that turned out to be really good this year. DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown, Jaron Kearse. Well, they signed Jaron Kearse to a one-year deal last year. They brought him back again. Brian Anger. I mean, come on. He's a Pro Bowl punter. Punters matter too. But they do have a decent squad coming into 2022. The Dallas Cowboys are led by Dak Prescott. And, of course, if you're a Dak guy, you are hoping that he turns out to be the one that ends the drought since 1995. So you're probably saying, probably won't happen. But we'll see. He's backed up by Will Grier, who's a former scrambling quarterback for the Panthers, and, of course, Cooper Rush, who beat the Vikings last year. One of those guys getting cut, by the way. So that they're not carrying three quarterbacks. I'll get more into that. This Saturday, I'm going to be joining a roundtable on Blogging the Boys YouTube channel where we're going to predict the 53-man and, obviously, one more down. The running back situation. I know everybody loves talking about the Cowboys running backs, right, Gooch? I mean, this is just... It's annoying at this point, but Ezekiel Elliott, hear me when I say this, watch my face. Ezekiel Elliott is RB1, starting running back of the Dallas Cowboys. Stop talking about how Pollard's the better back. He should be the one. Look, if they want to get Pollard involved, which they should, he'll get involved. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He'll get involved. Where was he last year? No fucking idea. But it doesn't matter right now because Pollard's there, and so is Rico Dowdle, and so is Malik Davis. All 4 running backs are having themselves a very, very good summer. I'll look to the comments for a second. Just because, okay, good. No, I don't really care about anybody what they're saying right now. No, I'll address all that shit when I'm done with my little rantsky here. Of course, tight end is Dalton Schultz. My boy Sean McEwen, who is a friend of the First and 10 podcast. We've had him on twice, and he's a dog, bro. He's a hard worker, and I think he's going to be very good as tight end too. So here we are with the offensive line, and losing Tyron Smith blows. But if you're a Cowboys fan like me and like you've seen it every year, this happens every year with Tyron Smith. Every year, big tree fall hard, whether it be a neck stinger or a shoulder or something. He's always out for an extended period of time. This year, in this year's draft, the Dallas Cowboys took Tyler Smith. Guess what, folks? He's a left tackle, okay? He is the future left tackle of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, what are you going to do with a left tackle if you already have a left tackle? You shift him inside to a position we lost with Connor Williams, went to Miami. We need a left guard. So you put one of your better position players on the offensive line at left guard. That's what they're going to do. Guess what? Plans change. Things have to change relatively immediately. So now what I think they do is they kick him out. Listen, the thing is, and maybe you take stock into this. When you take all the reps at left guard and then you're like, oh, now I got to go play tackle. Do you feel like he's got enough mental reps and enough reps in his life that he could just kind of make the transition in the NFL?
I mean, it depends on the player. Obviously, if you have to know what the left tackle is doing if you're playing left guard, clearly, because the line is more cohesive than any other 2 positions on the field. So like you have to know they all work together anyway, but it's definitely a major downgrade and he has to learn on the fly. And the issue for me is like your assignment is one thing. The issue that I'm going to talk about is the assignment. You can know your assignment, but if you're trying to block the best player, the best pass rusher on the other team, yeah, sometimes you're just outmatched. And if he's an interior lineman trying to go play left tackle,
but he's not though. He's a left tackle by trade.
All right, well, fair. Then he could go over and play his natural position. If he's had the reps, he just hasn't had the reps against.
He is not live.
Von Miller
or anybody, not even in preseason. You know what I mean? Like all his reps are at guard, so you're like, all right.
He's gonna get those reps against Micah Parsons, so he's gonna get
if you're gonna work, you're gonna get some work in the next 2 weeks. But now they might put everybody in fucking bubble wrap at this point because they just can't afford to lose anybody else. Let Reddick eat. Who's Reddick? I don't know who he's talking about. Anthony Yepes, excited to see the production of Gallup with the spotlight being on Lamb. Me too, because with Michael Gallup, he's a very splash player. He'll show up in games and you're like, wow, this guy's incredible. Look at that toe drag swag. Look at all that shit. Look at that route running ability. But you couldn't see that a lot because he was kind of buried between Amari Cooper and the emergence of CeeDee Lamb. Once again, years before, the Cowboys drafted CeeDee Lamb to be wide receiver 1. You don't take a guy 17th, 16th overall to not be your original number 1 or eventual number 1 receiver. So the writing was on the wall. Cooper was making $20 million a year. The shit was going to hit the fan.
That was going
Cat Boy did his thing and got rid of Cooper. So now we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, back to the defense now. Offensive line is going to look like this, by the way. It's going to be probably Tyler Smith to play left tackle. Connor McGovern will slide into left guard. Your center is Tyler Biotish. Right guard, one of the best guards in football, which is Zach Martin. Right tackle, Terrence Steele. He was a turnstile for a little while, and then he started to get good again. So it's like we'll see about that. But again, you let Collins walk out. This is what you put yourself in a position. They didn't address the swing tackle over the offseason. They didn't say anything or do anything to back up the fact that Tyron Smith was injury prone, and it's alarming. It's alarming because the Cowboys are so infatuated with the fucking salary cap that they didn't take any chances. And now there's rumors like, there's a Yahoo insider who say the Cowboys are going to make a trade for Laramie Tunsil. That's not your fucking answer. I mean, he's good, but like, is that your answer right now? And I hope he brings his mask.
Yeah.
Not the 2020 mask.
That could be the answer because, look, right now it's looking not so great at O-line for the Cowboys, and they haven't played a game yet. So you have to understand that they're going to incur some more bullshit. So anytime you could get a veteran help at this point in the camp, you're approaching week 1, they need a tackle. I say that they should kick the tires on anybody that's ever had success in the NFL at tackle at any point over the last 5 years.
And I will say this, treading back to the wide receiver, I kind of brushed over that, is CeeDee Lamb and is Michael Gallup, who's not going to start the year on the PUP, meaning, or on the IR. So he'll be, I don't think he plays against Tampa Bay, and I think they finagle and finesse the, Tony Cannellini calls it depth chart Olympics or whatever the fuck he was calling it. I forget what he was calling it. But not
Acrobatics.
Olympics. Acrobatics, or what did McAfee say for salary cap? Acrobatics?
Yeah.
So basically, they're going to do that with their roster to ensure that he has a spot, but I don't see him playing against Tampa Bay. In any event, Jalen Tolbert, bro, they took him in the 3rd round, man. The draft was pretty good to the Cowboys this year as far as what you see on paper and what you see in camp. Jalen Tolbert's going to be all right. James Washington, again, we'll see if he gets healthy. Remember, guys, we have a kick returner now. His name is Kevontae Turbin. So we'll see if Turpin time or Turbo time or whatever the hell you want to call him, he's any good. So we'll see. Tyler Smith, we talked about the offensive line. Defense now, look, this Cowboys defense really outkicked their own coverage last year. They played exceptional, mainly because of the emergence of Micah Parsons. The kid was as advertised. He is an absolute animal. I saw a play yesterday. I wish I would have pulled it up. I could probably insert it in post, but there was a play where Dak went back to pass. He threw the ball, 2 receivers and a safety collided, hit off somebody's helmet, and went flying, right? Went flying the opposite way. Who comes bolting in and makes the pick?
If I had to guess, let me think. Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons did, and he's just a freak, and he's going to play incredible defense. And the Cowboys, based off of we got the Daks and the Zekes and the Lambs of the world, and I understand the offense is going to click when it clicks, but the success of the 2022 Dallas Cowboys is fairly, to me, on the defense. If Micah Parsons has the same year as he had last year, don't worry about getting better. Same year as he had last year, this team is going to roll over some of these offenses. I'm telling you right now. D-Law on the line. Nobody's talking about him anymore. That's a good thing, okay? Defensive tackle, they're doing well. Neville Gallimore, Osa, Dorrance Armstrong. The other defensive end is where it's different because it's like you obviously lost Randy Gregory to the Broncos. Now, what do? Dorrance Armstrong, believe it or not, compare the numbers, Cowboys fans. They're very similar, okay? So let's not think that Randy Gregory was the end-all be-all, letting him walk out the door too. We all know, Cowboys fans can unite in the fact that we know that we stink at managing the salary, right? And we're obsessed with the salary cap. Where in some aspects, if you're the LA Rams, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So it's just very odd to me that you could be so obsessed about getting that cap number down. Because according to Kyle Kerms, 1,000,000 times over, the Cowboys are in a bad situation in a couple years from now. So are you looking that far deep? I don't know. I'm not. Of course, the defensive line's good. Linebackers, they had Anthony Barr. Obviously, we talked about Parsons already. They bring back LVE on a 1-year deal. We'll see. It's a prove-it deal to me. Like, they brought him back, hometown discount, didn't sign for a lot of money. Bring back Van Der Esch. Their cornerbacks. Trayvon Diggs had himself a hell of a year last year, okay? And I know the big thing about him is that everybody's saying, well, he gave up a lot of yards. Yeah, well, he also picked off 11 balls. So his catch radius and his catch comparison to ball, like 50-50 balls that were thrown to his side, he came down with a lot of them, okay? 11 of them, to be perfectly, honest with you. But, again, the yardage, the big play, I can do without that.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be attacking him again this year, so he'll probably get some turnovers. But look, I'm not going to. This isn't my synopsis here. This is Kyle Kerms. Kyle Kerms says the way Dallas runs their defense is that they're funneling everything towards Trayvon Diggs' side. So that's why he's getting all the yardage against him. But that's also why he's getting some of the picks, right? To me, the yardage is a major issue. You're going to have to. There was one play on 4th down. Was it an overtime game where he gave up a touchdown? There's certain things where it's like too Allen Iverson-like, where he's a good defender, but he can't stay in front of certain people. But he's a high-risk, high-reward guy. I think it all comes down to Micah Parsons. And if Micah Parsons is wreaking havoc, then Trayvon Diggs is going to have another good year. But I'm a little worried about their other corner and their back end.
Anthony Brown is obviously the other corner. You have Jordan Lewis. You have Kelvin Joseph, who was cleared of all wrongdoings in that whole fiasco over the summer. That was weird. I don't know if that might be brought back up because Roger Goodell hates the goddamn Cowboys, so he might bring that up. Like, every time you were in the news, we're going to suspend you anyway. And of course, their kicking game, Brett Maher. I mean, my God, I don't know what to say about it. I was kind of left with a lack of words for when they brought them back. But Brian Anger, don't worry about it. We got a Pro Bowl punter. So Gooch, overall, before I get into the schedule, your assessment of this team. Where are the strengths? Where are the weaknesses? You already talked about Micah Parsons, obviously, but like
their offensive line, I felt like was a strength, and now I'm not going to call it a weakness, but it's very close to, the wheels coming off on the offensive line. And then you're going to have to see some really good coaching jobs by the offensive line coach and seeing what they could do with the guys that they have. Some people are going to have to step up in Dallas this year. There's no question about it. The schedule means that they're going to win some games regardless because they do have a talented team. The defense is really good. There's still something about it that I'm like, I can't figure out why they're so good. And then you look over at Micah Parsons and you're like, oh, that's why they're so good.
Are you still holding this team hostage because of their head coach?
Yes, 100%. That will hold them back down the stretch. Another year, another Mike McCarthy coach team that they seem very regular. They lost Amari Cooper. Zeke, to me, I think it's time for them to move on from Zeke. I know Dave disagrees with me. The contract is awful, and I think that holds them back. They would be much better off right now having any running back that they drafted in any round and Amari Cooper instead of Zeke. I know that Dave disagrees with me there, but I just think it's a passing league right now, and Zeke, you could get Zeke out of some other young guy and not have to pay him $16 million or whatever
I think, personally, and I'm a Zeke apologist, as you well know, and I've drafted him a couple times in some fantasy drafts. I'm like, that doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about that. But Ezekiel Elliott's time in Dallas is now being questioned because of the contract. And if he's going to be a Cowboy for life, there will be a significant restructure next year.
I'm not the type of I'm not the football fan that's sitting here saying that Tony Pollard should be the starter. Tony Pollard is who he is. There should be another guy that comes in and does what Zeke does at $1 or $2 million for the season on a rookie deal in the third round, because that's what you're seeing out of these guys. Oh, look, the Brian Robinson, or was that his name from the football team? Third round back.
They're the Commanders now, by the way. I know it's gonna take you some time. It's gonna take you some time.
So I just think that's where their downfall is not only with their head coach, but they're paying the running back position too much, and I don't think he's giving them enough. But he is a better every down back than Tony Pollard would be. He wouldn't make it a full season. Tony Pollard has to be in the role that he's in.
All right, so Rube coming in saying that I harped on yesterday about the fact that Jalen Reagor was drafted before Justin Jefferson, and he's coming back. But his rebuttal is the fact that the Dallas Cowboys took Ezekiel Elliott over a Ramsey, okay? I'm here to tell you that Zeke won the goddamn Rookie of the Year and could have been in line for MVP in year one. So, like, that whole conversation, talk to me about drafting Gregory Ellis over Randy Moss. Talk to me there. Talk to me about drafting Taco Charlton over TJ Watt, right? I'm cool with all that. Don't talk to me about Ramsey and shit. He's not, to me, that's a completely different story. We didn't have a running back at the time. We had Darren McFadden running the fucking ball. So they took the splash. They had the fourth pick in the draft. Yes, now you're looking at all these drafts going forward, because then you see what happens to Saquon Barkley, and you see these guys get banged up and they lose their treads kind of quick. A life expectancy of a running back is very low, so that's why you don't see running backs being drafted high anymore. But that's the trend. That's what's going to be forever now.
I think, and I know you're a big Zeke guy, but I do think when you draft a running back that high, it sets your franchise back maybe even a half a decade.
I just said that now the new thing is you will not see that anymore.
Like
you
Saquon just recently, but
that was the most recent.
That was already the vibe, I felt like, around the NFL, at least maybe not amongst GMs because they're still fucking doing it, or they were, but I felt like you just don't use a high pick on a back. They don't get paid anyway. And then when you use a high pick on a back, then the second contract on a second round, on a second overall pick or fourth overall pick is just way too high, and now they're paying the price.
Last year, at our opening party in July, I made a bet with a fellow friend of Gooch's about how Zeke would have a better year than Saquon Barkley. Now you're coming in here saying that Barkley's going to have a better year than Zeke. And you don't have the kind of funds to bet that with me, so shut your goddamn mouth. I've seen your comments the entire time. It's all loser mentality. The Giants fucking stink. Get over yourself. Barkley will have a good year. He will absolutely have a good year. And Daniel Jones is going to be looking for Barkley so much more this year than ever before. Because if Daniel Jones wants a contract, that dude is going to be checked down McGee the entire year. So if Barkley's healthy, I 1,000% can say with confidence that Saquon Barkley might might have more all-purpose yards than Ezekiel Elliott this year. That is not a hot take. You've been dropping all bombs in here today. You're dropping all the Pollard's better than Zeke. He has more yards. You're a moron. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Shut up, shut off. Hit the button. Get out of here. Anyway, like the video if you guys are liking this content as we go into the schedule, right? The schedule, what time is it? Yeah. I like that little rant ski over there. I know Anthony's liking that one. He's a Giants fan. See, he's a realistic Giants fan. Anthony, I'll ask you. Your job doesn't depend on it or anything like that, but Saquon or Zeke this year in 2022, who do you like better?
I'll still take Zeke for sure.
Okay. See, and look,
I just don't trust.
He don't get paid to be here. He can walk out the door tomorrow. It won't, right now. Leave us high and dry. Look, it's a matter of health. Okay, Saquon Barkley has been banged the fuck up his entire career. Zeke tore his PCL in week 4 last year and played the rest of the year.
Would you rather have the Would you rather have the backfield battery of a Zeke and Saquon combined in one backfield, or Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon? Real question.
Probably, I would still take Zeke and Saquon. Saquon, like I just told you, like it's not hard for me to say this. Like I'm not like a hater. Like the Giants overall, they stink. But like Saquon Barkley, when healthy, he's very good at football. You put him with Zeke in a backfield, I'll take him over Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon hasn't proven shit yet, and I do like him a lot. But he hasn't proved anything to me that he could be even a second running back. We're gonna find out this year because they're gonna have to really drop.
Prove that he could at least be a second running back. I mean,
he is a second running back, so he's already there. Yeah. He's already there.
He had a really good year last year.
Yeah, I know. You don't know nothing. You don't know anything. It's okay, though. It's okay. You can say whatever you... Ben, I understand. Look, I mean, I don't want to get canceled or anything like that, so I'm not going to say... I'm going to regress and just woo-saw this as I go into the schedule and pick the Cowboys to go 17 and fucking... Oh, kidding. Zeke and Anthony Brown or Ramsey and Pollard?
You're letting them get to you, Dave. Just...
AJ Dillon is better than Zeke. Yeah, all right, this is all dumb. This is all dumb. Them as in like the masses are out there trying to tell me that AJ Dillon is better than Ezekiel Elliott. You got to stop.
I agree 100%.
You got to stop. You got to stop. You got to stop. In what world? What world does that make sense?
2022 NFL season.
Zeke outrushed him. Next, what's next?
No, I'm saying like this
year.
Season, this world.
That could be a thing, and I'm not going to rule that out. I'm not going to rule out the fact that A.J. Dillon's going to get a lot more carries this year and wind up being a top back in the league. That could happen.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, I'm allowed to think that A.J. Dillon's better. It's not like outside the realm of possibility.
Bias, though. That's Homer bias.
I mean, not really.
I mean, you got Rube, who likes to stir the pot, and you. That's the two people that are telling me that A.J. Dillon's better.
I think Rube is high on A.J. Dillon, like, realistically. He was talking about him when we had the Packers show. He said
drafted him in a couple leagues. Like,
A.J. Dillon is the true one in Green Bay. That's what he's saying. That's what he said.
Anyway.
Yeah, Hawaii Mike, how you doing, bud? Or Florida Man Mike, what's up?
Florida Man
I'm doing
Mike.
well.
I got to call this freaking guy, man. I was supposed to call him yesterday. Forgot all about it. Not forgot. I just got... Things just get crazy. I think Travis Etienne is better than Zeke, according to Scoop. Whatever. I'll leave that alone. Look at this garbage. Anyway, let's go to the schedule. Let's find out why the Cowboys are going to go undefeated. No, they will win week 1, though. I will tell you right now. I don't give a shit. Tom Brady's going to get turned into dust. Micah Parsons is going to give that man fits. There's going to be so many commercial breaks looking into the Tom Brady's eyes where he's just going to be lost. He's not going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? That's what's going to happen when you face the Cowboys this year, pal. Ain't going to be the same thing as last year where because of our kicker woes, we sucked and I was walking around like McGregor on Moral Victory Monday last year when we lost by that much. We're winning this game. It's in Dallas. Give me that win. Week 2, the AFC champion, Cincinnati Bengals. Now, there's question marks about the Bengals. I still think they're going to be a very good team, and Lyle Collins is going to have to block Micah Parsons. Interesting. I don't even know what to say about that game, honestly. It might be a toss-up. Week 3, we're going to beat the shit out of the Giants. We're going to be in attendance. So if you all want to tailgate and you want this smoke, come see me and my brother. We'll be in lot J16, or J, one of the J's. The J lot's always the best one there. They win again at home against Washington. Then they got to go to L.A., and they don't win that game. The Rams are going to be good. Rams are going to run not run the West, but they're going to be another good team. As long as Stafford's good, that team's going to be good. At Philly, I said it to Danny DeJesus yesterday that they'll lose to Philly and Philadelphia this year. That didn't happen last year because Dallas kicked the shit out of the Eagles twice last year. That does not happen this year. The Eagles are better. Week 7, they got the Lions at home. Give me the win. Give me the win against the Bears at home, and then they go into their bye. So into their bye, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8 games. So maybe a 5-3 start. Maybe. At best, 6-2 if they get the Bengals win. If they lose any of these games, like I'm talking about the Lions at home and the Bears at home, like then there's a problem within Dallas, okay? And I understand the Lions are on the come up and the Bears should not win many games, if any games. And Rube is a Bears fan. He'll tell you that too. The Bears are they're not very equipped to run with a Cowboys team, I don't think. The bye, and then my not so hot take. I mean, there's Cowboys fans that believe this as well. They go into Green Bay and they beat the Packers. That's my opinion. You disagree, and that's fine. That's fine.
You feel the earthquake. God doesn't even agree.
Yeah, I do feel
the
something's
fucking
going on.
Place is starting to shake. As
This place is starting to shake because I think the Cowboys will beat the Packers in Green Bay, nonetheless. Last time they were in Green Bay, it was Dak Prescott's rookie season, and they beat the Packers. Happens. It could happen.
Didn't we play in the playoffs that year?
Yeah, Dez didn't catch it.
What the fuck is going? Are you out of your mind over there? Good Lord. Well, how's your highlight tape? Anyway, at Minnesota, they're going to win because Cooper Rush is going to start that game. The Cowboys could beat Minnesota on the road. That's happened before with our lesser team. Then it's Thanksgiving Day, and the Giants are coming in. And while I would love nothing more than to stomp out every single New York Giant fan on Thanksgiving in front of your fucking families, the Cowboys have given me fits during Thanksgiving, no matter who they play. Last year, the Raiders. A year before that, the Bills. Josh Allen fucking ran for like 200 yards. Do they lose to the Giants on Thanksgiving? I say it's a possibility. I absolutely think it's a possibility. Will they? I don't know. I don't think so. But they got the Colts. I think they could beat the Colts. They could beat the Texans, obviously. The Jaguars in Jacksonville. I still might try to go to that game because I get free tickets to the game due to my AEW connections. But I think they can win that game in Jacksonville. It depends. That one's also a toss-up. Last time we played the Jags, they beat the shit out of them. I mean, the Cowboys just kicked the shit out of the Jaguars. This is a completely different Jaguars team. And that was like 3 years ago. So it's like, it's not too far stretched, but it's like, it's Trevor Lawrence. It's new coaching. It's home. It's in December. So we'll see. Philly comes to town. We take care of business in that one. At Tennessee, it's another game I would love to go to because I still want to go to Nashville. It's on the bucket list. And then at Washington, if depending on what the situation is, if they need it, they'll go out and get it. If they don't, they might not. Push comes to shove. The Cowboys here are projected to win 10.5. Even with this injury, which Danny DeJesus said 12 yesterday, but now with the injury, he's got 10. So a 2-game deficit without Tyron Smith. Dallas Cowboys are going to win anywhere from 11 to 13 games this year. I'm going to side more with the 11-ish. Last year, they went 12-5. Guess what? I predicted them to go 12-5. This year, things might be a little different. Might take a little bit getting used to some new things. But at the end, push comes to shove. Dak Prescott's a very good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. I know you guys have, there's no choking or anything like that. But like Dak Prescott has not delivered in the big game yet because I don't think he was given the opportunity to deliver in the big game. Last year against the 49ers, that whole team was flat. Nobody fought. Everybody sucked. It was just a bad situation. And I do blame a lot on McCarthy in that one for saying that his team wasn't ready or his team wasn't mentally, I don't know, whatever the fucking terminology he used.
McCarthy's a scrub, dude.
And you know what? If the Dallas Cowboys fall short, I want to say the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl, clearly. But if they don't get to the NFC title game this year, McCarthy is gonzo. It is over, whether it be Sean Payton on the mend or whoever, or internal, Dan Quinn, very liked amongst the community in Dallas, or does Kellen Moore have himself another brainiac child, great offensive year to be the head coach? No, I think it's a package deal. If the Cowboys fail this year and they don't make the NFC title game, both Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy are gone. Okay, what they do to shift all this, it's difficult and it stinks because Dak Prescott's best years are definitely, I would assume, behind him. So now it's like, let's see if this kid can deliver. This year in particular, I think the Dallas Cowboys are setting Dak up for some tough sledding games. One, you got no left tackle now, and whatever they want to do to solve that, it's going to be rough. But two, this feels a lot to me that Dak Prescott year where they got rid of Dez, and their number one was Allen Hurns, and that's what it feels like. And I think CeeDee Lamb is better than Allen Hurns, right? But I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. But the Cowboys' schedule, as we said yesterday, is the second easiest in the league. So they should take advantage of that and get out of here with another NFC East title. And at the worst, wild card behind the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll see what happens in the playoffs. It could be the same song and dance. And in January when they get bounced, I'll say, hey, I'm having an epiphany. I invest too much time and emotion into the Cowboys. I'm not going to care as much. Blah, blah, blah. That doesn't make any sense. It lasts for about 3 weeks, and then the fucking combine hits, and we're like, this is what we're going to do, you know? So, Cowboys Nation, I'm here to tell you that this year should be good. And I didn't say great, and I didn't say bad. But this loss to Tyron Smith is not something we could just kind of like, it'll be all right. They have a solve. Will they use that solve? I don't know. Will they put in a rookie? Fucking pray that they don't. Will they sign somebody? Which I look at my phone, no signings yet. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Cowboys will have themselves a decent year. When I go based on that 10.5, how are you feeling? 10.5 games.
I mean,
I'm okay with whatever.
Yeah, no,
I'm not going to hold it against you.
I think that 10 wins is likely. I don't think they're going to do less than 10 wins no matter what, because their schedule is really easy and they are a talented team. I'm going to call it 10 wins. I feel like that over-under at 10.5 is going to drop a little bit because of the injury to Tyron Smith. And I'm not talking about, like in real odds, by tonight, it might be 10. It might be 9.5 based off.
It'll
that
definitely
injury.
drop.
So I still think they'll probably hit the over on the team total, whatever it lands at before week 1 starts. But 10 wins with 11 as the max with this injury. As it stands now, the Dallas Cowboys don't have the terrible offensive line. They still have really good players across the board in some cases. And the rookie we just don't know about yet. He could be really good out of the gate.
You don't draft him in the first round if you don't think he's good.
You just don't know. So it might not be too big of a deal. But as of right now, the depth is hurting at offensive line because of it, and I got them at 10 wins.
Okay.
They're not losing more.
Playoff team at 10?
Yes.
Remember, there's an extra wild card out there. So,
Yes.
all right, that it all makes sense. Again, catastrophic injury for the Cowboys. It sucks. Will they weather it? I don't know. Will there be look, week 1, it's the Tampa front. So it's like, we'll see, man. We'll see, right? And then obviously these defenses that are on the schedule, we get Washington without their guy, but they still have a fucking amazing defensive line. So, and Rube mentioned it before, Dallas against the Eagles.
Yeah, bro. Styles make fights. I want to see how the Dallas offensive line holds up before it's just tough.
It is tough to call right now. The Dallas offensive line is going to mean everything. Like when I look at the front end of this schedule, like Aaron Donald comes to he goes against that offensive line in week 5.
Not supposed to be easy.
No. And what I was thinking yesterday, and I know this is not going to come as breaking news, but it's really hard to win in the NFL. I know it's that sounds so cliche, but it really, really is, man. It's like you win your division, cool. Oh, by the way, then the playoffs. And then, oh, by the way, then you got to win the NFC title. Oh, by the way, and then you're on the biggest stage. It's very hard. And that's why we haven't seen any real dynasties since, I guess,
Brady,
right? I mean,
Brady is the dynasty.
Brady is, right. So it's like, for me, it's just like, do I want the Cowboys to end this drought? Yeah, fuck yeah, I do. But it's very hard,
There was a
man.
team last year that had to go into the season without their all-pro starting left tackle, and then they lost
Optimism
their
here from
all-pro
Gooch.
starting right tackle, and they still won 13 games, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. So it's
They also
all
had
for
Aaron
nothing.
Rodgers. So, and look, Dak Prescott, and I know Hawaii Mike came in before and said 29, he's 29, his best years are behind him. Bro, look at the life expectancy of an NFL player. He's about to turn 30 years old. When these young quarterbacks coming in at 22, 23.
Quarterbacks now, the way the nature of the league.
Look,
and
if he changes his style of play and he sits back in the pocket, then he can be there
they
forever.
protect the quarterback, you can't touch him. You're going to see careers going way longer now.
Well,
just how it's going to be.
I would love Dak to win, or maybe is this going to be an Elway situation for Dak Prescott? But the problem is his contract will be up. He'll be 32 years old, and if they don't have a title, it might be it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's pivotal that the Cowboys have this success in this window that they have now, and they just so happen to have struck gold with a guy like Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? That guy is an all-world freakish athlete that nobody remember, hey, guess what? The Giants passed up on him. That happens, right? Struck the luck. Anyway,